So is the brand new DJI Mic 2 worth it for YouTubers and for content creators? In my opinion, over the last few years, I've been using the DJI Mic 1 as my main all-in-one solution whenever I'm not filming at home. And while it's been an incredible mic, it does have its shortcomings. Recently, DJI launched the brand new Mic 2, and I want to find out if it's the best all-in-one solution for YouTubers and content creators. So in today's video, I recorded everything using the DJI Mic 2, so you can judge for yourself. But first, I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Mantis Sleep, and the brand new Mantis Sleep Sound. The Mantis Sleep Sound gives you complete control over the two senses that affect you most when you're sleeping. I've been using the Mantis Sleep Mask Sound for the last couple nights, and I absolutely love it. And there are two reasons why. First of all, it gives you a complete blackout seal with no eye pressure whatsoever. You can also add cooling cups that go around your eyes, which make your eyes feel incredibly cool all night long, which I absolutely love and I definitely recommend. But the main reason I love this thing is that you can actually listen to your music or your noise machine or whatever it is that you want to listen to while you're falling asleep with the razor thin Bluetooth speakers that are mounted inside this mask. And I mean, check it out, they're super thin. In fact, this mask was specifically designed for side sleepers like myself, and I can tell you after sleeping in this thing for the last couple nights on my side, I did not feel the headphones whatsoever. So with the Mantis Sleep Mask Sound, not only am I able to get an incredible night's sleep because there's just no light bleed whatsoever around my eyes, which even in the darkest room, you still pick up lights all over the place, especially when you're charging your phone or really any kind of tech device that has a stupid LED indicator. This completely blocks that out. But also you can listen to your favorite music, your favorite podcasts, or your favorite sleep sounds as you fall asleep. And I mean seriously, not only do these eye cups completely block out the light, but they're also ridiculously comfortable. There's no pressure whatsoever. And they really help me get a great night's sleep. I don't know why I put this thing on, but I can tell you right now that there's no light coming in from the studio anywhere, even with my eyes wide open. It's amazing. So if you want to check out the Mantis Sleep Mask Sound for yourself, which I definitely recommend, make sure to click the link in the top of the description below. And once again, huge thank you to Mantis Sleep for sponsoring today's video. So first things first, let's talk about price. And there's actually a couple different pricing options when it comes to the DJI Mic 2. So the main option that I think most people will go for is the $349 option. Now what this option comes with is a receiver, 2 microphones, and a charging case. I'll get into more detail about what actually comes in this package a little bit later on in the video, but this is the most common option and honestly, the one that I recommend. However, if you're trying to save a couple bucks, DJI does offer a $219 option, which comes with 1 receiver and 1 microphone. Now, obviously, this option doesn't come with the charging case, so you will have to charge both of these things, the receiver and the transmitter, with a USB-C cable, but it's a pretty solid way to go if you're trying to save a couple bucks. DJI does allow you to upgrade your setup as you go, though, because you can purchase the charging case separately for $69, and you can purchase an additional mic for $99. In fact, you can actually just buy the DJI Mic 2 on its own for $99, and what's good about that is that if you already have the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 or maybe the DJI Action Camera 4, you can actually wirelessly sync this mic to those cameras without a receiver. Another feature that separates the Mic 2 from the Mic 1 is that this newer mic actually comes with Bluetooth, so you can actually wirelessly connect it directly to your phone without a receiver. However, it doesn't sound as good. So DJI really does give you a lot of options. If you just want to buy the mic and just connect it to your phone or maybe your DJI Osmo 3 or your DJI Action Cam, you can do that. Plus, if you buy the mic separately, you could buy it in white, which is only an option as a single mic. I don't know if you'd want it in white, but you do have the option. But again, for the all-in-one solution, I definitely recommend the $349 set. So the premium set comes with 2 wireless microphones, 1 receiver, and of course a charging kit to charge everything that you have. In addition to that, you also get 2 windscreens, a USB-C to USB Type-A cable, a lightning adapter for the receiver, and a Type-C adapter for the receiver, and a 3.5mm camera audio cable. And as you can probably tell, all of that stuff would not fit in the charging case itself, so DJI does give you a soft case, which actually holds the charging case, where you can keep all your windscreens and your cables. So not only does the DJI Mic 2 look different than the original DJI Mic 1, it also has a lot of new features that actually make this a much better mic overall. One of the biggest new features that people seem to be really excited about is the fact that the new DJI Mic 2 can record 32-bit float. But now let me show you guys how 32-bit float works. So you can only record 32-bit float on the actual transmitter itself, not on the phone or on your camera or whatever it is that you're recording with. You actually have to offload it directly from the mic to your computer to edit it, but I'll show you guys the difference between using 32-bit float and not using 32-bit float. The way I'm gonna do that is yell into the microphone, Hopefully my editor can show you the differences between 32-bit float and non-32-bit float. The original DJI mic could only record 24-bit audio, so the 32-bit upgrade is pretty solid. Now, unfortunately, there are some caveats to the 32-bit recording. The first is that you can only record 32-bit audio directly onto the transmitter itself. It will not wirelessly transmit to your receiver or to your phone or wherever you're recording to. And even though this does give you a lot of flexibility when it comes to recording audio, it's a feature that I think most people who use this mic probably won't need. I will say though that it's really nice to have, and actually something that the wireless Rode mic has had for a long time. Another new feature for the DJI Mic 2 is intelligent noise cancellation. However, the intelligent noise cancellation is not perfect. It's intelligent, but it's not perfect. Your voice is gonna sound a little bit more robotic than it usually would, and in some cases, it might miss certain loud noises that you'd think that it shouldn't miss. This is what the DJI Mic 2 sounds like without intelligent noise canceling. This is what the DJI Mic 2 sounds like with intelligent noise canceling turned on. When it comes to the actual sound quality differences between the DJI Mic 2 and the DJI Mic 1, honestly, there's not too many. They actually sound very similar. And to show you guys the differences in audio quality between the Mic 1 and the Mic 2, here's an Xbox Series S. I'm actually giving this away on the channel to one of you guys if you subscribe to the channel and comment subbed up on the Xbox Series S unboxing video that I just did last week. Links for the giveaway are in the description below, but really the main thing is just subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet, so make sure to do that. And that was the Mic 1 and Mic 2 audio test. One of the reasons that I recommend the premium kit when it comes to the DJI Mic 2 is that you get 2 windscreens to attach to your microphones. So one of the nice things about the DJI Mic 2 is that it comes with 2 different wind filters or dead cats, and what they allow you to do is kind of block out the wind noise. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of wind to really illustrate my point, but I will show you the difference between using the dead cat and not using it. So here's what I sound like without the wind filter on. Again, not really a lot of wind, so it's not a great illustration, but let me show you guys what it sounds like with the wind filter on. And the best part about these wind filters is that they actually plug into the 3.5mm headphone jack at the top of your mic, so it makes it really easy to install. That's what I sound like with the wind filter installed. It should be pretty similar, but without some of the wind noise. Again, not a lot of wind noise, but you guys get the point. Another recording option that you have when you're using the DJI Mic 2 is actually plugging in a lav mic. In the same 3.5mm jack that you plugged in a windscreen, you can plug in a lav mic. Now, I gotta be honest, I've had some pretty bad experiences with lav mics on the DJI Mic 2. And the reason I say that is because I have yet to get a lav mic to work on this mic. Now, I think that's something that can be fixed in firmware and something that hopefully DJI fixes quickly, but as of right now, I can't get a mic to work. Now, I do have a Shure lav mic that I've used on my camera that I'm currently filming on. I've used on my old phone. I've used on multiple devices, but for some reason on the DJI Mic 2, it will not register the sound. Now, alongside the DJI Mic 2, they also released their own lav mic, which I would assume has to work with this device. I unfortunately wasn't able to get it to test it because it was on back order. I guess it was a really popular item. So I would recommend checking out other reviews about that lav mic to see if it's any good. But unfortunately for me, I was not able to use a lav mic in any capacity with the DJI Mic 2. And for some people, that might be a total deal breaker because having this on your shirt is not the most discreet thing in the world. Honestly, I was pretty disappointed about it. I usually film with this mic on my shirt like this or flip the other way around so you can't really see it, just see the magnet. But it's still something that really disappointed me and something that DJI absolutely needs to fix. And at first, I thought it might be a problem with my units in particular. I thought something might be defective, something might not be working, but it looks like it seems to be a widespread problem among a lot of people who are out there reviewing this product. Speaking of issues, one thing that I ran into while filming this video in particular, actually recording from the receiver directly onto the camera, is really weird. For some reason, I can't get the audio to stop clipping when it comes out of the camera. It sounds fine when I record it directly onto this microphone, and for this video, all of the audio is mainly being recorded directly onto the microphone and then synced up in post. But for whatever reason, when I record directly onto the camera, it clips. I've messed with the gain on the receiver, I've messed with the gain on the transmitter, I've even messed with the camera a little bit, and there are recommended camera settings actually in the settings of the DJI's receiver, but for whatever reason, I could not get it to work. Now, I'll be honest, there's like a solid chance that this is totally user error and something that I've done wrong. I was wondering if it was the cable at first. I've used the provided DJI cable, I've used a separate 3.5mm cable, but for whatever reason, neither one worked. It was still clipping. Like, here's an example of the audio coming directly from the mic, and now here's an example of the audio coming from the camera's receiver. I have no idea why this is. When I actually plug it into my phone, which is usually how I use the DJI mic, I have no problems whatsoever. It sounds great coming out of my phone, but for whatever reason, whenever it's plugged into the Sony a7 IV, it just always clips. Speaking of recording directly onto the mic, that is made possible because each mic comes with 8 GB of storage. When recording in the standard 24-bit, that should be about 14 hours worth of audio. When recording in 32-bit, that should only be about 11 hours worth of audio. That being said, when are you ever recording 11 hours of audio all at once? In my opinion, 8 GB is more than enough when it comes to audio recording, and I have no problems with it whatsoever. But now let's talk about range. Now I want to find out how far I can actually walk away from the receiver with my mic on before the audio actually cuts out. Now, DJI claims that there's a range of 250 meters or 820 feet, which I kind of think is ridiculous because who are going to be filming 820 feet away wearing the mic? But I still want to test it to see if that's actually the case. So let's do it. Trying to avoid geese poop as we go. How you doing? In and out. Okay, now we should be about, I would say 400 feet, maybe 500 feet. Let me keep going. I'm gonna walk out to those flagpoles right there, see what happens. But hey, you know what? I don't know if it's still working or not. I've got this recording, so you know my editor might switch between the audios. but I'm sure it's working at this point. And if it's not, that's totally fine too, because again, who is filming at this distance? So because I can't use a lav mic, in most cases I have to clip my mic to my shirt just like this. And I'm not gonna lie, for my main channel, which is a sneaker channel where I do a lot of sneaker thrifting, I have to be somewhat covert to film in stores because a lot of stores don't like you filming in there. Now, as you can see with my old DJI Mic 1, I've kind of made it a bit stealthy by using a Sharpie to cover up the DJI logo and also covering up the LEDs with some black tape. But what's nice about this new DJI Mic 2 is that you can actually turn off the LED indicators on the device itself. Now, both the DJI Mic 1 and Mic 2 come with magnets to connect them to your clothing. They also come with clips if you want to clip them onto a shirt or a hoodie or something like that. I usually use the magnets because it allows me to put the mic in a place where the audio sounds the best. Unfortunately, with the old DJI mic, the magnet, while strong, was not really strong enough to stay on through a hoodie. The good news is, with the DJI Mic 2, they've given you a stronger magnet that's also thicker. The problem is, when it comes to being discreet, if I want to wear this inside my shirt, it's a little bit more difficult with this bright white etched DJI logo on the magnet. That said though, if you're not worried about sneaking around or being secretive, it is nice that you get a bigger magnet because you can connect your mic to a hoodie a lot easier and a lot more securely. Now, I know at this point we've already talked about the receiver a lot. We've already talked about the connection options and how you can connect it to your camera or to your phone or to your laptop or to whatever with the included attachments, which is amazing. And what I do like about this newer receiver is that the control options are a little bit better because you get a larger touchscreen and you also get a scroll wheel. So navigating between the tiny menus on the receiver is easier on the DJI Mic 2 than on the receiver used for the DJI Mic 1. Now, surprisingly, there's actually a couple settings that you can control from the microphone itself, like turning on and off internal recording, connecting to Bluetooth, things like that. But the receiver is where you're gonna do most of your fine controls, like raising and lowering the gain for the transmitters and the receiver, turning on and off the intelligent noise cancellation, and of course, turning on and off the 32-bit float. And again, while you can record directly onto the microphone, which I think in a lot of cases is probably the best when it comes to audio quality, the receiver is really great to have, especially if you're trying to record directly onto your phone or onto your camera or whatever the case may be. It's a really important piece, and if you're just grabbing the mic by itself, sure, that'll work, but I definitely recommend getting at least the setup with the receiver because it gives you a lot more connection options. And I know it doesn't really matter that much, but the look of the receiver 2 looks a lot cooler than the receiver 1. But now let's get to the DJI Mic 2 case, which is actually a complete overhaul of the original DJI Mic 1 case. Now, when it comes to features, they're pretty similar on both cases. The original case came in plastic and kind of worked like an AirPods case. You're able to put both your microphones and your receiver in the case, as well as some of your adapters, and charge everything all at once. And I also really love the size and the weight of this case. It made it super pocketable. I could throw it in my pocket with my phone, and I'd have my entire studio set up with me on the go. Now, as you can see, the DJI Mic 2 case is larger than the original. It's not significantly larger, but it is larger, and it's made of aluminum. So in one sense, that's great because it feels significantly more premium, and it's probably a lot more durable. Plus, they also added this button on the front of the case, which prevents it from opening unless you're holding down the button, whereas on the old case, if you dropped it, it sometimes would fall open and the mics would fall out. So overall, I'd say this new case is a pretty large improvement over the original. However, when it comes to pocketability, it's not as pocketable or as light as the original. So for someone like me, I don't know, I kind of prefer the size and weight of this guy versus this guy. However, the fact that I know my mics are more secure in this case does give me some peace of mind. Another huge benefit of the case is not only are you able to charge your microphones and your receiver through the case with this USB-C port on the back, but it also has a battery pack inside. Both microphones and the receiver have about a 6-hour battery life, but this case actually adds 2 more full battery charges to all of those devices. So in theory, you get 18 hours with all the pieces in the set. So is the brand new DJI Mic 2 worth it for YouTubers and for content creators? In my opinion, absolutely. There are a few different options when it comes to wireless microphones that are great for content creators and around the same price point, specifically the Rode mic, but for $349, you're getting a surprisingly complete package with 2 mics and a receiver. However, I will say if you already have a DJI Mic 1 and you don't need the intelligent noise cancellation, the Bluetooth, or even the 32-bit float, there really is not that big of a reason to switch to the DJI Mic 2 because sound quality-wise, they're pretty similar. So for me, yes, the DJI Mic 2 is worth it.